They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Why you be all in my line about nothing? Why won't you go get you a...
Oh, you're listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole Akinso, and I'm joined by founder of CWall Sports. I'm watching CW channel. I'm sorry, CWall Sports and and he's reporting Candi Waller. What's going on, Candi?
What's up? I'm trying to make sure everybody knows.
I was watching the CW network. I was like, why is CW in my mind real quick? I have no idea. What's going on? How you been?
I'm the original CW though. But
I mean, when you back then with like Smallville back in the day, I used to watch shows like that on the CW. I used to be one of them. I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to watch CW shows. What's going on? How you been?
I'm good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, I'm a CW dude. I ain't gonna even hold you. But how is it? I mean, we're gonna talk about the Commanders free agency and whatnot. But how have you been through this process? It's very busy, especially as a reporter. I can only imagine.
It is. I don't want to speak too soon. Like, it's not as busy as it was last year because the sky's about to open up. So, like, I'm gonna just be quiet because I just forget like some of the stuff that you have. Interviews. Once they're signed, they do media availability.
Facts.
And so today was a lot earlier because Zach Ertz was already at 8 a.m. and then he was actually early. So we were like, oh my God, and trying to get on there like 15, 20 minutes early because he was like, you want to talk to me? You better talk to me now. So, but all good vibes, all good, great vibes. But it does get busy. And then it's, trying to track the team. All, you're trying to track everything about the team, meaning who the team is re-signing, who has gotten picked up in free agency, right? Then it becomes all right, well, then you got to get somebody to fill that hole.
Facts.
It's very much a maze puzzle, all the things. So it's busy. And then everything that comes through, your texts, the tweets, notifications, you end up paying attention to everything because you don't know what's not important till you like read it. You be like, oh yeah, Adam Schefter be winning. You know what I mean? He be winning around this time. I'd be like, I'd be on Schefter alert. He like my basketball. I mean, he's like my basketball. Well, it's Sham now. It used to be Woj. You know what I'm saying? But I don't envy them at all because that's got to be like you just don't. Yeah, it's that's for the league. And trying to get it all, you're getting everything. Yep. You're gonna get it all right all day. And so it's just it's I don't envy it. It's a lot. Hey, Paul, I'm gonna get to your questions about that when we get into the meat of this show. Paul, I'm an Arrow fan too. I'm a Flash, Arrow, Smallville. I'm all of it, Paul. I'm CW up, bro. You can't tell me nothing about CW. I'm a CW action hero type of dude. Paul. I'm both Arrows. That's how thorough I am when it comes to CW. I ain't no Dawson Creek dude. That's my brother. My brother used to watch Dawson Creek. Was that a CW? Similar. I don't know. My brother used to watch that too. Yeah, my brother used to watch that. But anyway, before we get into this, the free agency talk and who the Washington Commanders acquired, let's knock down some logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene and Bowie TV YouTube channels. Please hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. If you can't tell, you obviously know this, man. We had to do a special pod. It's Commanders I mean, like I want to say free agency because they did some trades too. So it's not just free agency; it's trades as well. But they picked up some players. Some players left the building, but this team is looking new. So can it start with the blockbuster deal? The Washington Commanders received bookend offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil and a fourth rounder from the Houston Texans for Washington's 3rd and 7th round picks and their 2026 second round pick. Your thoughts on the deal?
I mean, I thought it was fine. I mean, I wasn't, it was like, oh, it's pricey. And I'm like, but is it? I mean, I don't think it's pricey. I think it's about even.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about even.
Yeah.
On the tackle that the team picked up. I mean, hey, you can always. I tell people there's a couple different ways you can check. Test the pressure is how other fans react to it.
Yeah.
True. That's one of the ways I use my clues in that way. Like if other fans feel in some type of way that it was a good move. But I was just kind of like, oh, because I think we had just talked about that, right? Yeah. Tackle. And I was like, well, they got Brandon Coleman. I mean, he was serviceable, but it says a lot.
Yeah.
It says a lot. I think it probably says more than anything that the trade was made for that very important. We know the left tackle is a very important position, right? I mean, when you talk about, you're spoiled, right? Because of Trent Williams and everything. But when you talk about left tackles in today's game, not named Trent Williams, I mean, Tunsil's at the top of that list.
Yes.
He's at the top of that list. I mean, it is what it is. Now, I mean, hey, I might have my challenges with penalties because I'm just a anti-penalty person. I just got issues with penalties, false start penalties. I just don't like them. Any penalties at the line of scrimmage just drives me insane. But I mean, we'll see what happens. It was a big move, and it said a lot. And I don't think it's a dig to Brandon Coleman or anything like that. I don't think it's a dig at all. I think, we talked about potentially, maybe he gets moved to guard or something, or moves to the other side, because he definitely has the ability to do that. Games are won and lost in the trenches, and they got better in the trenches. So that is what it is. I was going to say, is the offensive line better today than it was yesterday? It is.
Absolutely. Relo on IG said Tunsil move was a must. Yeah, I don't. It's crazy. So I just felt like there was an opportunity to get better. Right? We talk about this, and no knock on Brandon. I said I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought Brandon Coleman, for where he was drafted, played above where he was drafted. To be real with you, like so he is a talented dude. There's versatility. And especially now since you can slot him in guard, I think he'll be an all-pro guard if he goes to guard.
I think he'll be even better. He'll be better. I think he had a tall task as a rookie. And it was impressive. I don't want no beef with Brandon Coleman. I think he did great. I had a lot of positive things to say about him, in training camp.
He did. I remember you telling me about him. You was telling me about him in training camp.
Yeah. And I remember a couple days asking, Coach Quinn, hey, if you get to look at the one-on-ones, which one-on-ones are you really enjoying the most? And he mentioned, I think it was Brandon and Dorrance, maybe. I don't remember. Brandon and Cleveland. And I was waiting to see if that was one of the matchups because I was super impressed with him. I was like, this dude is and making that move, then if he shifts, then the guard, which I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. I have no idea. Then that's good. They wanted to get back. I mean, they're getting better.
Yeah. And I think it adds to something you said. Like it's something that we saw with Cosme. Like when Cosme was with right tackle to move to guard, you saw how he became all world. I just think the transition is going to be awesome because I do think you did see coach said Brandon Coleman had pass pro grade of a 33 in the playoffs. In the playoffs, he went against some tough dudes, right? At edge, right? He did. He went some tough dudes. And I do think that I don't want to say it was a knock on him. It made it seem like he was a bad to tackle. I thought he played again throughout the season, his consistency. I thought his body of work, he was good for a rookie tackle. I don't think you can say he was like we've seen worse rookie tackles. He was good for a rookie tackle. But now when you get a Tunsil, you can push him to guard, or if you want to make a play right tackle, that's fine. I think he can probably play right tackle, to be honest with you. Yeah.
But if you push him to guard, I'm telling you, in my opinion, if he moves to guard, at right tackle, I think he'll be good. But at guard, I am just like Cosme. I think he'll be all world. I think he'll be a high level Pro Bowl guard in this league.
It'll almost be second nature to him.
Yeah, exactly. I totally.
It'll almost be like it's like normal.
Yeah,
and that becomes your what is it called? Your athletic, intellectual ability. Mm-hmm. It almost you just do it well. I think that's what I'm thinking. And then if anything happens, right? Because we saw. And why did I do this to myself over the weekend, right? I went back and started watching games all over again, trying to figure out what they were going to do. I was like, what? I need a life. Why am I doing this? But anyway, so I was just like, but it was fun because I was seeing things that I still didn't see. Mm-hmm. But at one point, there were games where players were getting injured and they were having to move. Everybody was having to move. Tyler would have to go out. Andrew Wiley would have to go out, right? Nick went out. Brandy went out. And everybody was having to move. And so they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They got better. And the playoffs are very difficult.
Yeah. And it goes, again, I do want to, hammer this down. I remember watching Cosme, at right tackle, and I always said I thought Cosme at right tackle wasn't as bad as people made him out to be. I thought he was a good right tackle. I thought injuries kind of hampered him, but I thought he was solid at right tackle. But he knew that he could be an all-world guard if they moved him to guard, though. He knew he would be super talented at guarding. He was. He's to me one of the better guards in football. He was one of the best guards in football when healthy. I think you're going to get the same. I'm really mean this. You're going to get the same level of play with Brandon Coleman. I think in terms of notoriety and ability, in terms of accolades, I think he's going to prefer playing guard. I think people will talk about him as one of the best guards in football if he does make that change.
I mean, these trades, I had to laugh. I said one thing Adam Peters is not afraid to do is trade somebody. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he gonna sure enough trade somebody, because I thought about that, and I was like, isn't it around this time of year when Sam Howell got traded, or whatever the case may have been? He will trade people. He's been trading people all throughout the year since he got here, honestly. And so,
what's going on, Jeremy? My guy, what's going on, bro?
I just, the addition of Marshawn was at the trade deadline. We know that they picked him up injured, but, Adam Peters was very vocal about being excited about, Marshawn getting back to 100%, spending a whole offseason with the team, all of that. You look at the acquisitions of Deebo Samuel and Tunsil, and you're like, dang, they were serious about getting better. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no doubt they're upgrades.
On the O-line, that's a big upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
A big upgrade. I think that the only issue, it'll probably obviously see what they do at he said, I love for them to kick Coleman inside. You go, yep.
Oh yeah. They put him at guard. Oh my gosh.
When my man Dilek said if the Commanders can take if the Commanders can take right tackle, Wiley can become a swing tackle, or put Wiley at guard, which was his best performance at KC. That's true. Wiley is good at guard.
They can do that too, because they're gonna have to do some movement, because they really don't know when Cosme's going to get back because he's injured.
Yep, that's true.
Right. So there's going to be some movement there, right? And then you figure if he, hopefully, he continues to get better. They're not going to rush him like Adam Peters said at Combine, but he said he's doing all the right things and he's working really hard to get back. But they're not going to get him, they're not going to rush him. But if this is a team who we already know goals of the postseason, they're thinking, okay, this is how we can operate. Cosme be ready to go later in the season or for playoffs.
Yep.
Totally. And everybody go to your rightful position. That's how it feels like it's going to play out. So,
yeah, Trent. This is a fact. I remember Trent did play guard a little bit because he was hurt, and he was so good at guard. Trent could play anything. Trent could do anything.
Play any position.
Trent could do anything. Man, he could play center in a high level. Trent is just amazing. Oh, sorry. I'm starting to reminisce again about Trent Williams. I apologize. I need to stop doing that with me and Trent. Matter of fact, folks in the chat, don't bring up Trent to me, because it's it's a sore spot for me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, somebody did say to me today, they were like, "This is probably the best left tackle the team has had."
Oh, by far.
Just like
yeah.
Not comparing him to Trent. Let me be clear, but like, this is the best one. You know what I mean? No, Trent Williams.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, my bad. Oh, you talking about Trent Scott?
No. We're talking about Trent Williams.
No. He was talking about Trent Williams, right? He was talking about Trent Williams, right? I don't want to act like because my man Jeremy said he thought he was talking about Trent.
Made an assumption.
I thought you were talking about Trent Williams. Correct me.
Who? Me?
Not you.
Oh,
not you.
I
know who you talking about.
Talking about Trent Williams.
Oh, I know who you talking about. Deluxe said, he said, yeah, he's still we're back. I'm right. You're talking about Trent Williams. Thank you. Appreciate you. He said if Coleman gets moved to guard while he is in his last year of the contract, would be on tackle hunt next year again. That's if Coleman sees his right tackle. True.
Where'd the O-line coach Bobby Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd the O-line coach Bobby Johnson? Because he worked some miracles with that offensive line last year.
He definitely did. This offensive line is going to be much better, I think. I think everybody gets slotted into their correct place now. Like that, Tunsil was that missing piece. Everybody gets slotted into their correct place. I think the run game would be better. Everything should be better in terms of what we saw compared to last year. And to your point, Candi, I think that the coaches deserve credit for what they did with that O-line.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Definitely. So I think what does this mean for but I'm gonna go to my next question. What does it mean for Jaden? Like how does this line unlock Jaden Daniels even more now? Because now this O-line to me went from being a line that I thought overachieved last year to a line that I think now is like super talented when all the pieces are healthy. It's
so crazy. That came up on the show I was on before this, the First Street podcast. So shout out to them. But about O-line and corner was the positions of concern. Like training camp was like, oh my gosh, what do we do? Ooh, it was so many conversations. Now I know I never said this, but I know it was conversations around, do you even let Jaden Daniels start behind that O-line, right? It's like let Marcus Mariota. Remember, there was a conversation nationally. There was conversations around maybe you should let Marcus play because he, is better equipped. Was concerns about that O-line, and the O-line was really the unsung heroes of the season.
Yes.
Seriously, I really don't think. I mean, Jaden Daniels is who he is, right? And I know largely the team would not have had the success that they had without a Jaden Daniels. But along with Jaden Daniels comes that offensive line, and even though they had some really tough moments, they were able to come away with some wins. Zach Ertz said some things this morning that we can get to that in a moment.
Yeah,
about some of those games, but the fact that no one expected the offensive line to be good, and no one outside the building, right?
Yes,
expected them to be good. They were great, but the team still found and said, "Here's where we need to get better." I think it's to your point, Wole, so that it puts everybody in the position where they are best able to succeed. And that is one of the things that I've noticed about this coaching staff. That's why you all know this about me. I'm big on coaching. I'm going to ask questions about coaching. I'm going to ask the players about their relationships with the coaches. I'm going to ask about things and ask the coaches, about their relationship with what they think. And once you understand that this team really wants the best available players for their team, for their culture all day. But once they have that, they want to put players in their best position to be successful. I think Tunsil gives them the opportunity to do that with this line, which to your question about Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's happy. So that's just my other use your clues. Hey, Jaden is happy, so everybody else be happy too.
Yeah, man. I think you unleash him now where I think he's an opportunity to see, because I always stop when I see this person. I stop mid-sentence. Hey, Mama Waller, how you doing? I'm gonna stop mid-sentence. I'm gonna stop now I'm gonna go back to my point and make sure she's properly addressed. But to me, it's just like how I talk about Jalen Hurts, for an example. But I think Jaden Daniels is better. Like to have now Jayden doesn't have to be perfect in terms of finding like being worried about pressure. He can stay in that pocket long enough and make throws now. And he doesn't have to be pressed to kind of survey the field super fast. Now he can kind of like have time in the pocket to find his receivers. Like he can now extend plays even longer now because of this line. I think that makes him even more dangerous. Because at first he was working off of like that clock in his head and it was time to go. Now he can be in the pocket, sit. He don't got to anticipate everything. And then he did a good job improving in terms of anticipating passes. But now if this line is going to be what we think it's going to be, he doesn't have to worry about anticipating throws as much. He could sit in the pocket and say, okay, I can wait for this play to develop for Terry to get open, or I can wait for Debo to get open over here. Like I can wait. I don't have to now get the ball out super quick for it to work. My line is blocking. Now I can have time in the pocket to kind of like chill, like we've seen Jalen Hurts do with that vicious Eagles offensive line. I think it's an opportunity for that, and I think that's going to unleash him even more as a passer. I feel obviously we know what he can do with his legs, but as a passer, what he can do with that arm, his accuracy, with time and not having to always process things that quickly, it's going to make him 10 times better.
It is. You know what I mean? Like it is. It's just it helps everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it helps everybody with the importance of that offensive line. One of the games I rewatched because I have never. No, that's not true. I've watched all the games, but I like piece them together. But I rewatched the Hail Mary game straight through that. Other than when I was there, sometimes I'll stop it or, write my notes or talk about this and talk about that. But I watched it like straight through. Like I'm not going to pause anything. I'm not going to write no notes. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to watch it. And I remembered it coming down to like the last play, the Hail Mary. And I said to myself, oh, what Jayden Daniels can do when he has time. Was literally what I was saying. I don't even know what day was that. Saturday. I don't know. Friday night. And I was just like, oh, what he can do when he has time. Because he had all the time. It wasn't a lot of time on the clock at all. But that's just Jaded. And their coaching staff, that was the play. They practiced that play. They told us later, we practiced that play. It was always set up for Noah, and it just, it worked.
Yeah.
But in practice, he got time because you can't tackle.
Yeah. You got time. Yeah,
you're not tackling. And so I was like, because they did a heck of a job blocking on that, right? But everybody,
it was great. It was a great job.
Gosh, Austin Eckler was in there blocking. It was all kinds of blocking going on for them to try to get that play off, and they did. And it just then reminded me of all the plays that didn't happen because he just didn't have the time.
Yeah, and I just think that now, like when you have him as a dual threat, and I think just we've seen him grow as a passer throughout towards the end of the year. Like you grow and you grow in the league. You grow, and the one thing about Jayden, I felt like he got better towards the end of the year as a passer. We already knew he was a playmaker, but as a passer, I thought he got better towards the end of the year. Yeah. And I just feel like now going into the year 2, knowing that you don't have to be, you're always gonna have those quarterback instincts of knowing pressure is coming, but you don't have to be overly concerned because especially again when you have a left tackle like Laramie Tunsil, you don't have to be over you trust that dude. You know, he's gonna get the job done. Not saying, and this is not a slide. It's not any shade to Coleman, but then when you're playing with a guy again, this is the best left tackle this team has had since Trent Williams, by far. It's not even close. This is he is on the caliber of what I was talking about, Candi. He is that type dude. When I said I was spoiled,
think they was gonna do it. I was shocked. I was like, oh.
Yeah. So when I said I was spoiled, this is what I mean spoiled. He is the spoiled. Tunsil is the spoiled. He's the type of dude. He is the what I looked at when I was talking about. We have Jim Lachey. We got Chris Samuels. We got Trent Williams. We got Ray Brown. We had John Jansen. We had tackles like that. This is what that represents to me. He represents that to me. Tunsil. He is on the level of what I like and what I've grown up watching here in Washington. He's this. He is. This is the type of tackle we grew up watching.
Yeah.
We've been bad, even with bad teams. We've had tackles like this. So I'm like, this is and again, Coleman. Hopefully, it could have maybe. I'm not saying he could never reach those heights, but I know for a fact
need to be there. You need to be that now.
And Tunsil is that now. And Tunsil is that now.
You gotta be that now. It's like I was sharing with people when it comes to draft. If we haven't learned anything yet, this is a now team.
Yeah.
Anything building, development, you got to take all of that out of your vocabulary dealing with this staff.
Tell them
what's going to be the best option, what's going to be the right mix today and now. And that's what they're going to go with. And you think about,
Georgia Coach,
some of the things where the team needed to get better, you're seeing them get better. They did need to get more physical with their receivers. I mean, they did.
Yeah, they did.
They was getting out there getting knocked around. And and the line. So we'll continue to see what happens, because this is just the beginning. It's really just the beginning of free agency. It really is. I mean, hey, people be making trades on draft night, so it's stuff that is happening all the time. It's opportunities to get better up to the trade deadline. So this is a front office that is going to do that. And I want to say this, that Zach Ertz, did you listen to Zach Ertz press conference?
No, I haven't, but you can inform me. I haven't.
It was very good. He came in and he was on 1,000. He was really good. He was early, and I was like, oh gosh, he's early, and and that was great. It was good to see him, and we were on Zoom, and I had even just asked him about, he was like, well, I came here last year. I was like, I know, I'm half asleep. But he was talking about when he won, I asked him about when was the moment he knew he wanted to be a commander. I mean, when he wanted to return to commander.
Yeah.
He was like, I got here last year. I'm like, I know you. I'm talking about this year. It's 7:00. But anyway, he's like, the game ended sometime around 6 and 6:01. I was like, all right, I want to be back, and when Washington becomes the place, right, that people want to play and coach, whoever would have thought that? But then I went back and listened to the press conference again, because he was dropping so many nuggets the whole time, that he said there were 5 close games, right? There were 5 close games. If they don't win those games, the season looks very different. So now it's they understand exactly what they need to do in order to get better. In a convincing way, right? Because he's right. Those 5 close games really could have gone another way.
Yeah.
So what do you do to get better in such a way where this ain't close?
Good point.
We have outmatched you, is what he's trying to say. You know what I mean? Those 5 games. And so then I was like, now I got to do a new task. Let's go back and go watch those 5 games, right? And see what they didn't do well in those 5 games. And even though we probably already know what they didn't do well in those 5 games that were close, had they ended up a different way, they've already made adjustments to get better in those areas.
No, I agree. I think that, we kind of know without dissecting, each game, but just looking at the totality of the season, it's and I'm glad that I think he mentioned this. Deluxe mentioned it briefly, kind of to my point. The focus in the trenches has been beautiful. That's the thing that I felt like what they need. They needed to kind of focus on what they need to do in the trenches, and they did that with another acquisition. But obviously with this trade, knowing that, okay, it's cool. We have a solid offensive line, but we saw a team in Philadelphia who won the championship. They don't have a solid offensive line. They got a dominant offensive line. That's what we need to go again. We need to get a dominant offensive line. That's solid.
What do people want? I mean, it's not, and it takes a while when it comes to culture change and the mindset change. So I saw, and I think I commented, I see Commanders fans unraveling a little bit, and it's hey, just ask yourself, is the O-line better today than it was yesterday? And the answer is yes, then you okay. Because they do this that was a today problem that they had, and they did something to fix it.
Agreed. Yeah, we're going to talk. I'm going to address the D line. Actually, I'm about to do that now with one of the new the other signing. Though I'm not gonna lie, I'm not in love with the signing, but I will still go with it though. So yesterday, via free agency, the Commanders signed Javon Kinlaw from the New York Jets to a 3-year deal. The Minnesota Vikings gave former Commander Jonathan Allen a 3-year deal as well. So I'm gonna ask you this, Candi. Do you feel like, obviously Kinlaw was a first round? I believe he's a first round pick. I think Kinlaw was a first round pick from South Carolina at the time. Do you feel like this is an upgrade for Washington?
I feel like it makes sense financially, and I think I think it makes sense financially. I think he knows Adam and Daryl Tapp.
Yeah.
That was my rationale. I said, okay, all right, makes sense financially, and his connections with Adam Peters, because that's the assistant GM over there, assistant GM. Yes, when he was there, drafted him, and D-Tap was the assistant D-line coach in San Francisco and worked with Javon there. So that's why I was like, okay, it makes sense. But hey, look, they got to figure out what they're gonna do on the edge.
Yeah, as I'm saying. So I'll go back to what
they're not.
Cliff said. Cliff had a good point. He said, "Is this D line not addressed yet? Is it not? Okay, all right.
No,
let's
not yet.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it for real."
This is a deep draft for the line, for the defensive line. It really is. But free agency isn't over, everybody. Free agency isn't over.
No, I agree. So I'm gonna talk. So for me, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna be it's completely transparent. I don't think it's an upgrade. All right. So I think Kinlaw was supposed to be better than what he was coming out of South Carolina. I remember Kinlaw. I remember the draft. He was supposed to be thorough. Kinlaw he's more of a rotational player. Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely not done. This is not a done line at all. Everybody, your ends are free agents and all that. So you got to see what else comes available through releases and everything. I mean, the whole party. This is the early party. This is like the cocktail hour, cocktail reception. Yeah. But the party doesn't start until like tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be that's what you told me. But I
was like, you don't want to do the show on Thursday? He was like, I was going to me. I was like,
I'm gonna be the MEAC tournament. I'm gonna be true. I'm giving y'all all the transparency. Yeah, I gotta go to the MEAC tournament. Candi want to do it Thursday. We're gonna do it. I was like, I would have been down to do it.
Tonight was fine, but I did.
Yeah, she did say she said Thursday.
I said Thursday. You should do it on Thursday.
Yeah, don't worry. We got a recap one on Sunday. We got recap on Sunday. But yeah, I feel like I'm not. But I will say to Deluxe's point, I do like the physicality in the trenches with Kinlaw because of his size. Like he's a bigger dude. I won't say he's a bigger dude. So I do think that it's to what I was asking about for this Commanders team. Like I want them to get a bigger D tackle guy who's more fixated on run stopping. You know what I mean? So I do think if he could do that, I won't lie to y'all. If he can do that, then I'm cool. Like I feel like you may not get the better, more impactful, sack type of dude with Jonathan Allen is more productive via sacks than Kinlaw. But if he is able to help us stop the run, then it's definitely a win. You know what I mean? So that's
absolutely. That's where the problem is. Trenches, fast, physical, speed, power.
Yep.
Fast, physical, speed, power. Definitely got to look at the size, right? Based on the opponents. Yep. They got to really, they take a really good look at, of course, the division. Because I think I saw a comment about, a playoff home game where everybody knows the only way you get in at least one playoff home game is if you win the division.
Right.
So you have to win the division, right? Then if you end up, then seeding does matter because, hey, going back to the Eagles, they was home.
Yeah.
Whole playoffs.
It was home.
The Chiefs got a bye. Now, see, here's the thing. This is where I get funny because I'm like, I don't know if you want the team to have a bye or not because sometimes they be on in a groove. Sometimes that bye mess you up, but whatever.
You need that bye.
But depending on where your bye was in the season, but you
that's true.
But, however, the only way you get a home game, at least one, is winning the division. Period. Mm-hmm. So you already know that has to be a goal, is to win the division, and your record matters. What did we also learn about Dan Quinn and his coaching staff? They care about seeding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people are like, as long as I make the playoffs. Oh no, they wanted the 6. They wanted a higher seeding.
They did, obviously. I know. I was
for the
6. They were
trying to, do the numbers to try to figure out who they were going to have to play so they could prepare, so they could be ready to rock.
Yeah,
right.
They definitely wanted the higher seed.
They wanted the higher seed. That way, they weren't even. It was not a secret at all.
Yeah,
they wanted the 6. So this is a team that cares about home field advantage. This is a team that cares about seeding. So to solidify all of that, you got to run the numbers up with the win-loss, with the win being the most, and you got to win the division. Mm-hmm. So when you take that into consideration, bigger, faster, right? Mm-hmm. Power, that physicality. Just look at who they playing against. Mm-hmm. And that's what I tell people, hey, and this is one of the things that I share. You hear me say this all the time. Or like, I'm like, if you don't do anything else, pay attention to who is playing on the other team in the division. First and foremost, who are these players lining up against? Who's their matchup? Because Dan Quinn has talked to us about that several times in the media room, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, you got some of this, yes, it's scheme, but some of this, you just got to beat your man. You got to beat him, right? You got to match up. You got to win. And if that wasn't happening when they went back and looked at the tape, then, hey, there you go. This is what we're talking about. This is where you got to get better. But you look at the division, and then you really do have to take a look at the Dolphins, who they play next year, the Chargers. Oh, yeah, by the way, the Vikings, Minnesota is on their schedule next year. The Green Bay Packers, right? I don't even know. Is the Raiders on their schedule next year?
The Raiders?
I think they play.
I think so, but I'm not sure. Hold on. Who they playing?
Say something to me about Jeremy Chin coming back home for the. Well, not this is
not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure.
So either way, you got to watch all them people.
Yeah, AFC West. I think so. Folks. Paul said, yeah, they got the AFC West, so he's right. He's
yes, right. Yes. So yes, and I think that's a home game for the Commanders.
Okay.
So you do have to pay attention. The division, right? And then who is on the schedule? Because these are the people you have to beat in order to get the optimal seeding and win the division. So you have to really understand those matchups. You really do. And everybody be just going there blind. And it's like, no, these people are looking at who they're matching up against, because that's who they got to beat. That's who you got to beat. We'll deal with 2026 in 2026. Mm-hmm. This is who they got to beat this year in order to get to where they want to go.
Cliff said, I feel like Newton is going to have a good year. I feel like I am more of a believer.
He better.
Look, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think Newton, like, money dictates. I'm a believer in money and how money dictates in starters in the NFL. Money dictates that Kinlaw is the starter. It's Kinlaw and Payne. That's what the money dictates. That's what the money dictates.
The other thing becomes, we're also seeing a league that is getting younger.
That too. Mm-hmm.
We're seeing a league that's getting younger, right? So that is a consideration as well. That I just think that using your clues, paying attention, you just got to pay that kind of stuff. And like you said, the schedule is not easy. Not that any of the schedules are. And I've had that conversation with players and coaches where it's like, it's hard to win a football game.
It is. Like, every season dictates whatever. Like, I feel like every season dictates whatever.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, Taj, what did Taj say? What's up, Taj? He says, been saying this for weeks. AP doesn't talk much, but he doesn't hide his intentions. He wanted the team to be more physical, from Debo to the new left tackle. The mission has been to be more physical. I thought the team I could be more physical. I will give this team his flowers. I thought they were physical last year. I thought Jeremy Chin was real physical. I'm gonna give Jeremy.
I think they were physical.
But they can always be more though. I agree with that.
Yes, I think they were physical. We know that there was some missed tackles moments.
Yeah, that was annoying.
That happened too many times. and it goes back to, I just appreciated Zach Ertz saying, 5 of those games were very close, and had those games not gone the way that they did, that's a very different season.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciated his transparency in that, because he's right,
I agree with that.
But that's what I said. They're physical, but not fast. You got to get there. And sometimes they were just getting beat fair and square. Thank God they did win those 5 games. But he was being honest.
Yeah, I would love Dante. I would love to sign Justin Fitzsimmons. But I'm gonna talk about this side that I would love. I lie to you not. I would, man. The safety they got now, God bless him. I would love to sign Justin Simmons. That's what I would say. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna talk because he's on my board. After that's who I wanted at safety, because he's different from Chin. But I'm gonna talk about that though. I'm gonna talk about that later. Actually, I'm not gonna read that. Oh yeah, Deluxe said Jets had Kinlaw playing nose tackle. That's not Kinlaw. Prediction: Kinlaw will play at tackle and edge.
I mean, you can do both. I mean, you can see. I mean, there were times throughout the season where they moved people around on the defensive line. I don't think it worked all that well, but they did.
I mean, you said again. You know what? I'm gonna talk about Will Smith now because he brought him up, and I can always go to the other topics. I'm gonna talk about Will Smith now.
That doesn't mean you don't pick up a Justin Simmons or somebody like that. I
don't think Will. I don't think. I said Will Smith. Will Harris. You mean Will Harris? You had me calling Will Smith. Will Harris.
Yeah.
See, Paul, you messing me up. Will Harris. Yeah. I'm with you, Candi. That doesn't stop his contract. Again, I'm gonna say contract dictate who you are to me in the NFL. 2 years, $8 million, 4 mil a year, basically, or even I think it's stretched to 5. It could be stretched to 10 mil, but even at 5 mil per year doesn't scream out starter to me. But it is what it is. I mean, it's an opportunity. So let me get into that real quick. The Commanders signed Will Harris to a 2-year deal, again, worth 8 mil, can stretch out to 10 mil. He's possibly he is possibly the replacement for Jeremy Chin, who went to the Raiders, which you mentioned, Candi, already. I'm gonna ask you before I get into it. Do you see him starting alongside Quan Martin as a safety, as another safety? So you don't either. Got you. I'm with you. I don't either. Paul, Paul. You know what? I'm gonna squash this argument, Paul. I'm gonna be real with you.
I mean, he could. But
he could, but I do want to because Paul says this. He's physical and fast. You know who's physical and fast, Paul?
Jeremy Chin in a lot of ways, but I'm gonna stick to my gun on this one for right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. You know who's fast and physical too, Paul? Percy Butler. So he's actually Percy's faster than him. That's all I'm saying. He's faster. Percy is faster than Harris. So it's really so. I'm gonna tell you how I look at this situation because I think Candi, you told me this staff likes Percy a lot, right?
Yes.
You told me this, right?
Special teams. I told you that.
Yep. So my thought process my thought process is this going to be a competition? Like if they don't bring another safety, this is my belief. If they don't bring in another safety, right? It's a competition between Percy and Harris in camp to play alongside to be starting alongside Quan. That's where I'm at. That's
and
what
I would be interested to see what happens with Dominique Hampton this year. Who they?
I thought he's playing linebacker. Lakers said he's playing. They moved him to linebacker.
Yes. We have to see what happens there.
Harris ain't good at safety. Harris ain't that good at safety either, buddy. I mean, he's not a playmaking safety. I'm gonna be real, Paul. He's not a playmaking safety. He's not the safety that you want. Put it that way. Just because he's fast doesn't mean he has only had one interception. He's not a playmaking safety. He's similar to Percy Butler. Similar. They're very similar. Let's see. Dante said, I know they preach ball and ball is like last year. I think Simmons has proven he takes the ball away. I agree, and I think he he has something left in the tank. I like Simmons. I think Simmons.
I
wanted this team to do. Like this is where I'm at, because everybody like Harris because of his physicality, right? And I get it, he is physical.
He's a Jeremy Chin replacement. He's a replacement.
There you go.
That's what happened. I mean, not to cut you off, but
you're right.
They lost Jeremy Chin to the Raiders. They picked up Will Harris. It's a very similar style.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree.
Very similar.
So, but I've said this on this show. I said if I'm going to replace Chin, right? I want to replace Chin with somebody different, a different type of safety, like because with something we always talked about, they're not getting like you said this, Candi. Candi, how many times you said their goal is to get the ball, get like how many turnovers?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You saying like
I would say it all the time. Be like, I'm not saying there is a goal of 3 takeaways, and I was like, I'm just gonna sound like the bad person because I know when people have goals, you need to try to meet your goal, and they're not meeting these goals. So I need you to get the football because that's part of getting the goal. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So, all right.
In terms of moving on, you give players an opportunity to pursue free agency. That's what happens, you all. He's a free agent. You give people an opportunity to explore free agency. But if you have somebody similar or you think is comparable or better, you just hold off. He found something else that was paying more money. That's I responded to the thing about Jeremy Chin. It's not like they just let him go. I mean, everybody, it's a fair shot. It's a fair shot unless they can believe they can get someone comparable or better.
Harris got like 1 interception every year. Like Deluxe don't have that many turnovers.
They need takeaways.
Yeah. They're about the same in terms of like
takeaways. Yeah. That is what you saw. That is how they beat the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
It's the only way they beat the Detroit Lions because the Detroit Lions was out there ready to roll. They had to get the ball out of their hands and into Jaden's. And then once Jaden and the offense got in their groove, that's the thing. This Commanders defense, they can't. This past year's defense, they cannot be on the field long.
Yeah.
They can't be on the field too long now because things don't go well when they're out there too long. And I think this was a good pickup. Let me be clear. It was.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating. I'm gonna let y'all know what I think about it.
Comparative to Jeremy Chin, it's extremely comparative. Yeah. But the fact remains, they have a turnover goal of 3. And I've been saying it, and I would be like, yeah, they won the game, but they still not getting takeaways. And I think it took about. Was it 6 games, 5 or 6 games?
Took the playoff game. That playoff game from to go crazy.
Right. They didn't even get 3 until the divisional round when they got 5. But I don't even think they got their first pick until, was it week 5, 6, 7?
They don't get, that's the thing. They don't. The only ball hawk they have, to be real with you, is Mikey. And that's the thing. Like, you can't, like, at corner, it's only ball hawk right now. Marshawn probably should be better. Once he has a full camp or whatever. Right. But Mikey, in terms of last year, the only ball hawk they had was Mikey. Right. And Jeremy Chin, I'm not saying he was like a ball hawk, but I'm saying, and so somebody said that he's faster. Harris, I know that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you're looking for speed, if you all want to go with speed, Percy Butler is faster than both of them, and Percy Butler is a similar style of corner. I mean, of safety player. Then we look at Harris. He's similar. He's very similar. So.
Right, Baltimore was their first turnover. Exactly.
Yeah, it's Baltimore their first turnover.
The first 6 weeks of the season, they did not have a takeaway.
So my thing is that when I want to replace, because to Candi's point, I want the team to turn the ball. I want them to get more turnovers. That's my thing. So Chin wasn't and I've said this. Chin wasn't like that type of interception type of safety. I've said this already. I've been said this, but Harris isn't either. So I wanted another guy who I felt, if I'm gonna get a safety, looking safety in free agency, I want to get a guy who has a knack of getting turnovers. That's what I want. That's what I think. That's what I want from this team. The dude from the safety from San Francisco was picked up, so I knew they couldn't get him. But when my man said Simmons, that's the dude I was like, he gets turnovers. He's a ball magnet.
he gets picks. Like they need to, like this team needs to start like Dan Quinn's defenses. They turn the ball over. Typically, they get turnovers. That's what they do. You need guys who can do that. So that's all I'm saying. Like they need guys who can do that.
I mean, look. And I think I saw a comment about Saquon too. It's a couple things that we learned from the Super Bowl and just the Eagles overall. Defense still out here winning championships, okay?
There you go.
Disruptive defense
are
out here still winning championships, all right? Because that is what the Eagles did. They disrupted. I mean, they would just all. I mean, I just still clutch my pearls every time I think about it. I was like, oh my gosh, Patrick Mahomes is out there getting the dusted. Watch him get dusted like this. This is very bad. But to the question of Saquon, let's be clear now. The Chiefs had an answer for Saquon, though.
They did for him.
The Chiefs had an answer for Saquon. They were prepared for that because, of course, that's who they felt was the biggest threat, right? They wasn't prepared for that Eagles defense, though.
Mm-hmm.
No way. They weren't prepared for that Eagles defensive line. They were not prepared for the disruption of the Eagles defensive line. But they did have an answer for Saquon. So if you go back and watch that film, go back and watch that game, they definitely had an answer for protecting and stopping the run from Saquon. Now, because they had so much emphasis on Saquon, that means in that offensive line is dominant, then it gave Jalen Hurts opportunity to throw. Okay, you took away Saquon, all he's going to do is use his arm, and he's going to get to who he can because they've taken Saquon out, right? Yeah. But to that point, you've seen where some teams have made certain changes, but I mean, they had an answer for Saquon, is what I'll say. So if you mirror what they did, that is something similar, you know. Mm-hmm. But defense still out here winning championships because the Eagles just won one.
I want to read something to Lexic. I totally agree because I've been vouching for this dude. I think he's better than safety than both of these dudes I'm talking about. He's on the roster. The last time Forrest actually played, he had 6 turnovers in 2022. Yes, 2023 lost to injury, didn't play 2024. They seem to like bigger safeties than Forrest. I agree, and Deluxe, I'll go this far. I think Forrest is better than both safeties both safeties. I've said before, he's the safety that I'm talking about when they turn. Like he has a knack for getting turnovers. He has a knack for getting turnovers. And I've always been trying to.
This whole team got to get a knack for making.
Yeah, but I've been clamoring for Forrest throughout 2020, 2024 to 2025.
Yeah, and a lot of people are named. They free agents. So
yeah, Forrest is a free agent right now?
I don't. Is he?
He's always under contract. All I know is like
28 of them. So
yeah, but yeah, they need
to
move.
Yes.
Nah, Percy can't play. I mean,
no.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. He don't got that real. Nah, I wouldn't do that.
Mm-mm.
Linebackers an instinct thing. I don't think he has like that type of instinct, to be real with you. Taj, I think sometimes we as fans have to realize that we don't always get the players we want, or things don't go according to plan. I agree. The front office has made some
I've just been telling people, and Wale knows I've been sharing this. I'm like, this is really early in free agency, everybody.
He's a free agent. He's an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, default free agent, because I think about different conversations in the last day, locker room cleanout day, and it's still very early. Very early.
Yeah, I love to bring him back though.
Free agency and all the things, right? Because you got free agency. You still got ability to make trades and do all that and draft. So it's still very early.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Deluxe, on that. Like I try to check myself at times too, because I do believe that Forrest is better than Butler. But you know what? I'm also on the side of saying Adam Peters knows better than me. That's where I'm at now. Yeah, that's where I'm at now. Like even Kinlaw, I'm not the biggest fan of Kinlaw. But I'm like, you know what? He's smarter than me. Maybe it'll work out better than I think. You know what I mean? Oh, Cliff said Benjamin St. Juice, what's his destiny? Hopefully not here.
No. It's looking prosper,
Hopefully not here.
Well,
I'm saying that, not Candy. I'm saying that. Sorry.
Oh, I said go forth and prosper and be well. Very nice person.
Oh man. Yeah.
But hey, the team ended up with a really good season. Man, I was watching some of those games up front. What did I ended up watching? I don't even know why I did that to myself. I watched the Chicago game. I watched Cleveland.
Oh, Benji's games.
I watched the Carolina game. I watched games that brought me good measure. I didn't like I wasn't gonna watch the losing streak, even though I did that. I watched the losing streak one time. And I watched the week 1 Tampa Bay game a lot leading up to the Tampa Bay playoff game. Mm-hmm. And I was like, geez, this team is so much better than they were week 1. Oh my
big time.
Gosh. They had made leaps and bounds changes from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 in Cincinnati. Week 4 in Arizona was a really big game for this team. And so when they went home or came home against the Browns, their first 5 weeks was really strong. Mm-hmm. Because you saw it was very apparent the difference, right? And then they hit that little losing streak, which was still bizarre, but that losing streak still, that was again, you got to go back to the close games and the one they lost to really see, because for real, the ones that they lost in the close games, the issues were consistent. I just think in those 5, they ended up winning at the last minute.
Yeah, I just feel like what these moves this team has made. I do think that, like, to a certain extent, like you said earlier, and going back to what you said about like the defensive line or even the defense as a whole, like a lot of these moves, I feel like there's there are going to be some moves they need to make in the draft, obviously. And then like free agency is not over, like you said too. You got Wednesday, which is tomorrow. You got Thursday. Yeah, we got this whole week. I feel like they're still decent.
It was a bunch of people last year.
Yeah.
Because if you all don't recall, I
like this
remember last year. Yeah. Commanders fans was so just, oh my God.
I had an issue with Fowler being
mad. Was so mad early in the week. And I don't think everybody perked up until that Wednesday when the team signed Bobby Wagner. I feel like Bobby Wagner, because of his name recognition, it was like, oh, and I was like, there you go, Commanders fans. There's a name you recognize. You might respect him a little bit.
I've been wanting Bobby though.
But it was like that Wednesday, because I remember it was just like a flood.
It wasn't the first day.
It wasn't like Monday or Tuesday. It wasn't any of that. It was Wednesday.
It wasn't the first day.
It was just like whoosh, because they had so many. It was so much. But y'all talk about that Steelers game, and I'm gonna tell you, remember, I was flying off the handle with that Steelers game because OZ had that muffed return.
Stop talking about the Nigerian brother.
But they got the touchdown. It was that lost, that cost him his job at that position. That's when Luke ended up coming in there after that. But that, and I want to say it was either it might have been Jeremy Chin and someone, it might have been Jeremy Chin and Benjamin. Somebody.
Benji got beat by he got beat by that was ridiculous. Benji got beat by
first Steelers offensive
drive. Mike Williams.
But they got 2 penalties on that offensive drive. The Commanders defense. Yeah. One was Jeremy, and another one was somebody else. And they ended up scoring there, and they ended up scoring with OZ fumble.
Yeah.
On the return. Mm-hmm. And that 14 points, if you take away that and then those random penalties, I always said that was 14 points right there. They needed to get back.
Yeah.
Because Jaden did enough for them to win the game. Because remember, they were losing. They were down 27-14. No.
They were up for that game. They would dominate most of that game.
They were down. They were losing. And Jaden
after the turnovers and crap.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, they lost.
Yeah. We got Deluxe. Who Deluxe? Like says, I may get heat on this one.
I like Reeves in the defense better than Butler. I like Butler, but I have wanted him to take the next step. That next step. Me too. Okay, so I'm gonna be real with you when I talk about Butler. It actually, truth be told, doesn't come from. I actually like Butler out of the draft. Like I liked him a lot. I thought he'd be much better than what he is now. But I'm gonna be real. And Deluxe, you're not wrong. I think Reeves is a better safety than both of them. I think Reeves is a quality safety. I think Reeves needs to get an opportunity to play safety. I think he plays the position the way you want a guy who can get turnovers. He plays the position that way. I like Reeves at safety. I would give Reeves a chance. I would definitely give Reeves a chance, to be honest with you. Todd said, I'm more interested in what are they going to do at the edge rusher position. It's still some interesting pieces on the table and some interesting prospects that projected late in the first round.
It's a deep draft. It's a deep draft for the defensive line. So they got answers. They have answers. And they have A, B, C, D, E. They have options and they have answers. I don't think we've seen this team just not respond. We've yet to see this team not respond when there was an area of improvement.
Yeah.
We've never seen so far this front office not respond when there wasn't an area of improvement. From trading Sam Howell last year and what happened through that trade, the Jahan trade, the John Ridgeway trade, the trade for Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, here's the reality. The corners needed to get better. They got better at corner. Even though he was injured, and yes, there were challenges. We get that. They got better at corner.
Yes.
I'm not going to sit up here and act like they didn't get better at corner. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Injury and everything. They got better at corner. And so you to see the trade down for Deebo Samuel. Did they get better at wide receiver? They got better at wide receiver. Did the O-line get better? They got better at O-line. They're going to continue to respond to wherever the needs are. So I think everybody should just sit back and watch the show. Did my heart drop a little bit personally when I saw that Jeremy Chin was going to the Raiders? I was like, oh man, okay, all right, yeah, but that's because I grew very fond of him.
Of course,
great guy. You know this, right? We build relationships with people, and it's like, okay, all right, okay. But that was personal. Yeah. Professionally, I'm like, they got an answer.
They got money.
Okay? And that's all you gotta do. I remember last year it was Wednesday. It was definitely Wednesday. I was like, Commanders fans are up here hot. And I think it was because I don't know who they were signing at the time. I can go back.
I know. I know this. I was hot. Like, you have signing folks like Mariota.
Yeah, yes. Everybody was like, oh my
God. I was one of them. I was one of them. I know.
It was like, oh my God, Marcus Mariota's gonna be the
that was me. That was
everybody
me.
Just knew that them signing Marcus Mariota meant that Marcus Mariota was going to be the quarterback, the QB1. And I was just like, oh my gosh, everybody is just unraveling it. They're just losing it. Oh my goodness.
Sure was.
So it's like, at least, and here I am sitting up here worried, like, oh, don't nobody sign Marcus. Send him back because Jaden needs him. but whatever. We wish Marcus well if he does get picked up, whatever happens with him.
Oh, he's not coming back? He needs to come back.
That's what I'm saying. But I just
come back. Marcus need to come back. He need to be the first. Like we're gonna talk about these guys that re-signed, but Marcus need to be. And McNichols could be.
Oh my
and McNichols could be re-signed. Marcus better be re-signed because there's no need for McNichols.
But again, it goes back to. What I'm learning. What I'm really learning now, like just really understanding and knowing agents, knowing players, knowing staff, and really like just being comfortable with just asking questions. They can go out and be free, go and see what's out there. And if the offer is better than what we're offering and that's something you want to do or whatever, okay, we lost you, dag, or whatever. But
I'm about to hurt pause.
I think Marcus Mariota did want an opportunity to potentially start or play somewhere else, but good grief, he was so tremendous to Jaden's success last year. And just the overall locker room culture. What a tremendous dude right there. And I know he's had some tough stints, right? He had some tough, he's had a tough road. He has had the easiest road, but in terms of Jaden's development, I think that was a question I asked DQ one day, just what his Marcus brought to this, because everybody saw it. Well, we saw it every day, right? But it was like finally the world got a chance to see it. And it was like, oh, can he just stay? And that's what, but you know, people want to go forth and they want either more money, they want an opportunity to start, or whatever the case may be, and that's totally fair. But I hope, you know, that is a piece that I think it was fantastic. And I mean, hey, he had to come into Carolina game, he had to come into Dallas game. I thought he was great, and what he was able to do on the sideline and in the locker room, just amazing. So I know I went on a real rant there about Marcus Mariota, but it's just it. But again, that's a point that I think is important to bring up, that everybody was unraveling last year. This time, I remember the two that were like, "Geez, y'all, just wait and see what else they do." Everybody's like, Austin Eckler is washed, Zach Ertz is washed. This one,
I didn't say Zach Ertz is washed,
but a lot of people was just like talking. You know what I mean? You know, everybody was just like, what are they doing, signing all these old people? Then people didn't know who Frankie Louvu was, and I was
I was that person too.
I did not know who Frankie Louvu was, did not know who Jeremy Chin was, but I knew that Jeremy Chin fan was irate about Frankie Louvu leaving, and I was like, let me see what they so mad about, and I was like, oh, that's why they mad. So it's just like it was all. Sit back and watch the show. That's what I'm doing. Like I said, my heart only dropped when Jeremy Chin was going to the Raiders. I was like, okay. But, you know, now I got a friend on the Raiders.
I know.
Kyle's on the Raiders. I don't think I had any friends on the Raiders.
Paul said, yeah, I'm feeling that the Trey Hendricks trade is cooking. Paul, I'm gonna disappoint you, bro. That is not happening, bro. They don't got the collateral to get that dude anymore.
I don't know if they got the collateral.
They traded her. They don't got the capital, bro. You can sit back on that one, homie. There ain't no moves to be made. Then it ain't trading.
We'll see. I mean, anything could be cooking, and then you'd be like, "Oh, well, I used it.
Hey, I'm a claim this
all
one.
my nutmeg.
Yeah, I'm gonna claim this one. This one I'm gonna claim. They didn't trade the last 2 years of picks already. They're done with making moves. They're done. They're not giving up a first rounder either for him. They're not giving a first rounder for him. So it ain't happening. He ain't coming here.
Gotta get a first round. I mean, Trey Hendricks.
They're not trading their first rounder for no Trey Hendricks. So it's done. He's not coming here. But I do believe that edge rusher is something that will probably be looked at in the draft, depending on who slides there. I believe edge rusher is coming in the draft. That's my thought process. Let's see. What did oh yeah. I was telling you, Paul, you my guy, but I had to make sure.
Stranger things have happened. I didn't think they were going to trade for Tunsil, but yeah. I mean, I knew they were trading for somebody. I just was wrong on who it was. That's all. I knew they were making a trade that day.
You talking about Tunsil? You talking about Debo?
So it wasn't trade. No. Well, Debo, we knew at combine.
You talking about.
I'm just about that. Yeah, I just thought it was going to be a Debo Jonathan Allen swap, but I think San Fran wasn't trying to go for that. I just, you know.
Yeah, you said he was gone, but not Jahan on this team gone. You're saying us getting him. Like, that means so you think we're going to trade? What we're going to Paul, give me a trade offer. Tell me what we're going to trade to get Trey Hendrickson. And then come back to me. You tell me what we're going to trade, bro. And get back to me. Like, what do we have to trade for him?
Deluxe's comment.
Okay, I'll read it out here. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I heard last year, Louvu, Chin injury prone, Ertz old, Eckler washed. Yes, like that's all. I was all like, facts. The Man's fan was says an angry group. There's an angry group of fans. Yeah. And now look at everybody. And I, you know, and thank you for this comment. You love Boy TV? Yes.
Hey, look, we out here. They're outside.
We outside.
The
Ravens got D-Hop today. DeAndre Hopkins. All right. I text Karina like, we up. Yeah, who's up? Look. They EDC ain't lost a step. And Adam Peters hasn't either. So
that man lost a step. I love D-Hop. He lost a step. But go ahead, though. I love D-Hop. That man lost a step.
But it's just they'll be all right.
Yeah. Owens. That's a good one. Owens can make competition. I agree.
I mean, I saw that.
I like that
Owens,
one.
Let me tell you, Tyler Owens.
I forgot about Owens.
Owens is awesome.
Yeah.
And much love to you, Cliff. He's good. And
I forgot about Owen.
Undrafted. I think Mama Waller must be like, I'm going
I
to do
know.
it.
Good night. Yeah, I got you.
But it was
Night, Mama Waller.
but yes, to Tyler Owens, he was in. He got in. But when we talk about takeaways and we talk about forcing fumbles, he had a return forced fumble, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, special teams.
Mm-hmm.
They had him moving a lot on special teams. He was drafted and ended up making the team. He has such a presence about himself, and he just gonna go out there and get it.
Look at Greg. Look, I told you about I told her, Greg. I told her. I told her he loves her, man. I told her, man. She ain't believe it.
No, I just be like.
Exactly. Hey, look, I've been trying. I love Paul. I've been trying to tell. That's what I'm trying to tell Paul. Like, you're not giving him a first rounder for. You're not giving him. He's not worth the first round pick. Sorry.
And I love Trey Henderson. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, he's not worth the first round.
As soon as I saw like the Bengals, I was like, oh, yeah. I was not even like on the Myles Garrett tip at all anymore. I was like, ooh, maybe they can get Trey Henderson. Yeah. But when they got Laramie, I was like, oh, they're not getting Trey Henderson.
They're not. Yeah, they gave up. Do you see the collateral they gave up? They're not. They're done. They're done. They're done.
That's a lot of trading.
That's a lot of trade capital you gave up.
That's a lot of trade capital they just went through. They just went through a lot of trade capital in a week. Now I ain't gonna sit up here and act like that's fantastic, but that's
a lot, man. That's a lot.
That's a lot. I know why they did it. Being very objective, I know exactly why they did it, but that is a lot of draft capital to give up in a week.
Exactly. I agree. I totally agree. Dude's name, my man, said it's amazing to me to see some of these fans acting like they know more than the people who brought an NFC championship appearance. It's wild out here in these streets. I don't look, man. I think we all. I'll say this, dude's name, man. Like, fans are fans. We're gonna always. No one's gonna ever. Everyone's gonna think that they're right about something. You know what I'm saying? It's to me, it's how far you go with it. I think that's the most important thing. If you're aware of yourself, then I think it's different. If you're not aware and you just think you know everything, that's a whole different beast. That's just a whole different beast. Like, for me, like, I have people I prefer, like we talked about, like Percy, but I'll give Percy Butler as a prime example for me. It's not me knocking Percy Butler. Because again, I'll tell anybody off the rip, when he was drafted, I liked Percy Butler. I wanted him to play more. But then it got to a point where I saw him play a lot. I was like, yeah, maybe he ain't it. And then it was like when he was playing more than Defoe, I was like, yo, Defoe better than him. But the coaching staff thinks that he's better. So I have my beliefs, but obviously they think differently. You know what I'm saying? Do I still feel like Defoe's better than Percy? Yes, I do. But obviously he does something for that team and that organization, and they did get with Percy Butler getting a big role. They went to the NFC Championship game. So who am I to deny? Who am I to argue with it? But I do think so. I'm just saying, as long as fans ain't over the top and saying like Adam Peters is trash and he's trash, he's washed, I don't know what he's doing, this, that, and the other. If they saying that, then they crazy. If they just say like, you know what, I don't agree with that, I think they're fair, because I don't think you have to agree with everything. There's players like, dude, I'm the one who gets on everybody. I got on the Luke McCaffrey thing. I was like, everybody, I be gassing up Luke McCaffrey. Like, and I feel like I'm still right, but But it is what it is, though. Like, but again, everybody does, and to be honest with you, every GM doesn't bat 1,000. They're gonna get some. Oh, wrong,
absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things I remember when Adam Peters came here and everybody was talking about the Trey Lance miss, right? And I said, here's the thing: nobody's gonna get everything right. What I can appreciate about that front office at that time is that they didn't let the Trey Lance miss make them miss a beat. Yeah. That's what you got to figure. That's where you got to look. Where's the recovery? Ooh. Right? Mm-hmm. So, hey, you missed out on a huge. I mean, they moved up in the draft that year to get Trey Lance. Wasn't that the whole thing? They moved up in the draft, gave up all this draft capital. Wasn't that year?
Trey, you talking about the Niners when they got Trey Lance?
Yes.
They moved up.
Yeah, they moved up to get Trey Lance, and it didn't work out at all. But did it stop them from making the Super Bowl that year? Nope. It didn't stop them from that miss. Did not make them miss on making the playoffs or making it to the Super Bowl. Now they haven't won a Super Bowl yet, However, they still didn't. I'm about the recovery.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to act when you are facing the adversity? How are you going to act when it didn't work out?
Mm-hmm.
And Adam Peters and them, it worked. Hey, they kept it moving because you still got to play football, right? And I feel like the team never. I don't feel like that miss ever messed up the 49ers trajectory. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think like the issues that they had like last season, that wasn't because of a Trey Lance. You know what I mean? Anything that happened because of that, does anybody even remember? Like, I don't think they ever had a bad season or something just went completely down the tubes because of that. That's what I always say. So I was like, this is a person who is prepared. This is a person that him and his staff are very, very good at talent evaluation.
Yeah, I think they're really good at
very, very good at getting the best out of their players. I mean, we know that Dante Fowler was unraveling a little bit on X the other night.
He's mad. He's a little salty.
Yeah, he's upset. But you know what? He was hurt all last summer and switching up positions, and he did well. You know, so we saw them. I mean, who knew who Tyler Biotis was? Be honest. Other people was mad about Tyler Biotis. They was mad about Dante.
He was great. You had to go back and look. I mean, I ain't know him. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna act like I don't be terrible on linemen.
Doris Armstrong. People was like, they got all these.
I knew Doris Armstrong. I liked him. I just didn't know if he was going to be a rotational starter.
About Cleveland, but then when they put the team together, look at what came of it. So these men have been very open and honest about where they're headed and what they want and what they want it to look like. So if they've made a change, it is because the player had the decision to make the change themselves, and they were ready for the other option. Or they already had another option, so it was okay. I mean, it is what it is. But they haven't made anybody. They've been making everyone eat their words. Point blank. Period.
Hey Paul, retype the Gallup question. It's hard for me to keep strolling to find it. Like, it's a lot of comments. Just retype it and I'll pull it up. Deluxe said, I truly believe Forrest was the backup to Chin, Martin, and Butler roles in the three safety look. Forrest went in when injuries happened, not Reeves or Owens. Yeah. I just think that he could have played both. I think Derek was just as good. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna keep going. I'm not gonna keep harping on that. Every GM misses, even AP and crew have Mike Davis. Oh yeah, Mike Davis is bad, but not a huge miss on a low cost on your contract. Agree. Was signed as depth. Totally agree. Totally agree. Okay, let's talk about. Hold on. I know before Paul has that question. Okay, he'll find that question. Hey, Paul, find that question for me. So let's go into like the players that they did resign. All right, the Commanders resigned key players such as Bobby Wagner. Thank you, Bobby, for coming back. I appreciate you. Zach Ertz. Thank you, Zach, for coming back. I truly appreciate you. One of my favorites, Tressway. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you as well. Your thoughts on these the importance of re-signing these players? And you could probably mention some other individuals as well if you want.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it was super important because these are clearly tone setters. You know, in how they practice, right? You play like how you practice, and their approach to practice, how serious they take practice. I mean, every time they get onto the field is a gift to these guys, and they treat it as such. And then you had a locker room that followed suit. They're very serious about their film time, their study time, their time with the coaches, their time with their teammates, their time on the field. They mean business. And all of those guys you named, so far, you know, no one gave it a second thought of where they wanted to be. Like I said, I asked Zach today, you know, what was the moment you knew, you know, and he's like, okay, the game ended around 6. All right, at 6:01, I was like, where I sign? Where do I sign? And I know that, you know, Bowie TV caught, you know, when Ertz and Fletcher Cox, you know, embraced after the game, you know, and of course, you know, Eagles said, oh, he want to be an Eagle. He wish he was with the Eagles. That ain't what he told us today when I asked him. That's not what he told us today when I asked him, because I didn't know what he was going to say. What that was that moment, he wanted to return. I kind of asked, when did you know you wanted to be a commander? He was like, Candi, like last year. I'm like, I'm sleepy. And I meant, now when you came back, get my words out. I normally get my words out very well, but that didn't work out for me this morning. But he knew what I meant. And, I think that was fantastic. I think I see John Bates is another player that has been under.
Go with Jen. I'm gonna let you talk about John Bates because I'm not the biggest John Bates believer, but I know.
Let me tell you, Zach Ertz, that everything he said about John Bates today. Okay. You should probably listen to that press conference. It was.
I probably will. I am deemed a John Bates hater.
I would recommend everybody, if you have not listened to Zach Ertz's presser, from his re-signing.
Okay.
Because that's what happens, right? They re-sign and then they actually have to sign, right? So he signed and John Bates actually signed today, and then they talk to the media. And so both Zach and John talked to the media today, and what Zach said about John Bates was extraordinary. You gotta listen to it. And I remember even telling late last summer, I was like, John Bates is their person. John Bates is their person. They like John Bates. It's his blocking abilities. It's his, and he's smart.
He's a good blocker, I guess.
Yeah. He's an excellent blocker.
You know what? He's an excellent blocker. I'm gonna take folks there. He's an excellent blocker.
He's an excellent blocker. He is.
He's really good.
He's very good.
Yeah, at blocking.
At blocking. Yeah, maybe he's a blocking tight end.
He's good at blocking. He's very good at blocking.
But you please listen to it. And if you everybody go and listen to Zach Ertz's presser. I thought it was really great.
Yeah.
And Bobby Wagner's as well, and John Bates as well. But I really locked in on Zach Ertz because, and I forget who asked him. Maybe it was Ben Standig that might have asked Zach about John. I'm not sure, but he really gave an excellent answer about all of the just what John Bates brings. And so it was a big signing for them. And I think he said, he had an opportunity to go and make a whole lot of money. Like he could, people know what's up. People know who they have in John Bates. Yeah. But he wanted to be here. This tight end room stays together with Coach Rye. Again, I'm big on coaching. Let's give it back up to D. Rye, and what he's been able to do with the room in that tight end room. And I think that it's really cool. They re-signing Jeremy McNichols, right?
Yes, wow.
It's really, really, really. I mean, he works really, really hard. But there was some moments where J Mac. I mean, he was in the trenches with him now.
That fumble,
that fumble in the NFC Championship game hurt my feelings. That messed me up. But he was in the trenches with them. He had some big moments early on. If you notice, remember when Austin Eckler got hurt, he had a big game against Arizona. I loved how he really, really went for it. I think it was on a 4th and 5 against the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, that drive is dead if he doesn't get that 4th and 5. And I mean, he went for it, he stretched for it. And it was several other times throughout the season. That's why that NFC Championship game hurt my feelings so much that I was like, oh man, you of all people. But I mean, hey, you can't win them all. But his, again, work ethic, study abilities, how serious he takes practice, the game, whatever they ask him to do, he absolutely does it. He's made huge impacts on special teams. He's made big impacts on special teams. So I like it. Maybe he had opportunities elsewhere and he decided to stay. We'll see whenever somebody asks him, whenever we talk to him. But this will be interesting. This will be interesting to see who lands elsewhere and who they re-sign or who comes in new. This is still an interesting week because you all have to figure. Look at all the free agents that they, Cornelius. They lost Cornelius. He went to the Browns. Diami's with the Jags.
Yeah,
we know Jay's with the Vikings. Chin is with the Raiders. And who'd you say?
Paul said Paul said about picking Diami. He said the only person I'm really surprised they let go with Diami. Not surprised.
I mean, you went to
kind of
go
knew.
I mean, yeah.
You kind of had after the tweets and stuff. You kind of knew. After I got the one tweet.
Who? Diami?
Yeah, co-signed it. He co-signed it. What's his name's tweet?
Whose? Dante?
Fowler. He co-signed this tweet.
Oh. Let me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he co-signed it. I knew he wasn't coming back.
I'm not sure.
And definitely wasn't getting 10 mil here though. I know that too. He wasn't getting 10 mil here. He made the right business move though. Shout out to Diamond. Oh yeah, man.
And it's warm in Jacksonville.
Huh?
And
he actually, if he fits everything that I think he needs to. He has a decent throwing. Like I like Sunshine. So I mean, I know I call him Sunshine. Trevor Lawrence. I like Sunshine. So I think that's a good quarterback.
Yeah, I think he's all right. I think he's cool. I mean, it's a tough business.
It is. I do want. Bates. No. Bates had a fumble last year. I'm looking at stats. He had a fumble. Had some drops too, but it is what it is. I'm not here to like knock on. Like he's a good blocker. Like my man Deluxe said, he's a good blocker. He is. He blocks. And all the tight ends coming out of college, they don't block. You're right. They want to be Kelsey, Waller, Pitts. I agree with that. That's fair. I think he's a good role player. You know what? He's a good role player. That's how. But Bates is a very good role player. Never thought Diami was coming back. No, it had nothing to do with the tweet. I just knew that I think
you're saying once he
once he tweeted it, I knew he wasn't coming back.
That's why he co-signed.
I just knew he wasn't. I knew they told him like, all right,
you're free to
do whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying?
See what works for you in free agency.
Yeah, you know,
something doesn't work out.
When you know you got a gig, you're not saying nothing. You chilling. He knew. Once I saw that, I was like, oh, you going somewhere else. I already know.
Because if they're re-signing who they want to resign.
Yeah, they resign who they want to resign. That's all. I mean, like,
and if you come back, maybe it's a cheaper deal, or maybe you're okay with the deal we're giving you. But if not, then go and test free agency, see what it's like, and come on back. Yeah. And if not, I understand.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying like that tweet diminished his relationship with Watson. I had nothing to do with anything. I just knew that in his mind, he knew he was coming back. That's all. He knew.
The reality, and I also wanted. Everybody wanted to be here.
Yeah, exactly. I know that.
It's definitely
the organization.
It's definitely a brand new day.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be here.
Actually, Paul. Hold on. I got you. Lex, I'm gonna read that one too. Let me. Paul did a comment. I ain't gonna try. Paul, my bad, bro. I've been waiting on it. Paul, his question for you, Candi, was interviewing Gallup a favor, or are they interested in Gallup? Because
Michael Gallup.
Yep.
Wide receiver.
Yep.
A favor to who? I mean, I'd be having to ask, but a favor? No, I don't. Nobody do anything for favors.
Yeah. All right, he ain't coming here too. I don't believe that. He came out of retirement too, I believe too. They re-signed Mariota. That's who I want. That's on my list.
Even I get, some people do want, everybody wants to be here. They love it here. This is a destination, but some people have, other career aspirations. So we'll see.
Deluxe, who's next on your wish list of the Commanders free agents? Noah for me.
Who's that?
Mine ain't Noah.
I and Brown. I'm okay.
Oh, you want both? Oh, both Noah. Oh, Noah, I too. Shoot. Oh, yeah. I forgot
that's
about
what
Noah.
I'm wondering. I think that's.
No, that's what he meant. That's what he meant.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what he meant. Dang. You know what? It probably. Damn, this is wild. I'm gonna say this because I was hating on this dude like when they signed him. It would be Marcus Mariota. It would be Marcus Mariota. It would be Mariota. I want Mariota back. I want Crowder back on the low too. I do want Crowder back.
Yeah, it's a weird.
I do want Crowder back. But I don't think Crowder's the type of dude you can wait. You can wait that out. Nobody worry about it.
People are like, wait. I mean, people get released. People get,
I agree with this too, man. Jay be making people look better, man. That too. All right, I believe I'm with you too. Jaden be making people. Jaden, look, this is gonna be like really messed up for me. Like Jay, like this is gonna sound real extreme, and folks are probably I can get canceled for this. Not like cancel, but cancel for this. Like Jaden, like Jesus, dog. Like he could turn
Everybody is.
Water into wine. He can talk
I don't know
wine.
what he's doing to people. I don't. It's the Jedi mind trick. I was telling
He
somebody.
turned water into wine, man. I'm sorry, man. This man crazy.
I got eggs. I got eggs on the previous show that I was on. Something about Tunsil is like a nice guy. He's a really nice guy on the field or something.
Mhm.
And I was kind of like, huh? You know, they're like, you know, the offensive line is like goons and this, that, and the third, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if something happens, is he? And I was, you know, really not registered to me what I was being asked. And then I was kind of like, wow, Jaden is a very nice guy on the field.
Yeah.
It could be a Jedi mind trick thing. Because Jaden is a very nice, he's very nice. He's very kind. And
Yeah,
very
I'm
nice.
serious, man. Jaden, like,
But then you gonna get
on
pulled.
demon time.
He's on demon time. The whole time he's being really nice and kind. He's on
Do it with a smile.
not.
You know what I'm saying? That's how
I mean,
I'm saying.
and I remember fans being mad, like, why he always smiling? Because he happy.
That's on some. Look, man, that's look.
You know, I mean,
That's
you caught him not smiling, right? NFC Championship game, the Ravens game. It was a couple other times I saw.
He be smiling.
When he got hurt, that Carolina Panthers game, I told everybody, like, for everybody watching at home, and I was watching him when he went off the sideline. I'm like, Jaden just slammed his helmet down. He's upset.
Oh, the injury. Yeah,
When he got hurt, because he knew
he was mad.
He knew he was hurt. He was very angry because
he's mad.
All you want to do is play football. Leave him alone. That's it.
Man.
So he helps other players up. We've seen him go help other players up. We've seen him go pray for players. We've seen him do all that on the field. He's a true
deluxe.
So, it's just, so Tunsil maybe has that same, but he just is, I got so many calls and text messages, Wole, Super Bowl week. He was like, are you out here? I was like, no, I'm asleep. Literally, like I'm in the bed. I can't even move. Like I'm just
you did a lot.
They were like, oh my God, Jaden Daniels is so amazing. Jaden Daniels, oh my God. And I'm like,
he's like Jesus.
What is he doing to people?
I'm telling you, man. Y'all think I'm joking? Jaden like Jesus. I ain't gonna lie.
Stay away from Jaden. Like I'm not even going to your press conferences no more because clearly you're doing something to people that you talk to.
Jaden football. I'm a backtrack because folks gonna probably really cancel me. Jaden like football Jesus. Jaden like football Jesus. I'm serious. Like Jaden does everything on a smile. He got followers, man. He got people to follow him, man. Commander, like these players follow Jaden. That's just crazy. They follow Jaden. You know what I mean? Like just like everything, he does everything with a smile.
Like,
he gives you his message with a smile.
Joking with Coach Kingsbury, dude. Where you gonna go? Yeah. Where else you gonna go? And I was joking, but I was serious. How you gonna just leave? Let me take your phone. Matter of fact, because you don't need your phone because you need to be preparing for the game. Okay, but tell them people you're not taking their jobs. You want to know why? Because Jaden Daniels is here. Where else are you gonna go?
Yeah, exactly. Because you're Jaden's disciple. You can't be leaving the disciple. You're a disciple. You can't be leaving Jaden. You're a disciple.
Jaden, are you crazy?
What's wrong?
But it was so funny in the moment, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, these people. They really don't want to leave.
I agree. Jaden's a natural leader in anything he would do. I agree with this. He is a natural leader in anything he did. Yeah, I'm serious.
My business because whatever fairy dust.
I agree with Deluxe.
Who said he's? I don't even. He got. Yeah.
I'm serious. Like you can see it though. Like all jokes aside, like that's one thing. It's an innate ability and characteristic to lead. That he has that. It's like
everybody when he moves,
you see
they moving.
When
he says, bring it in.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched certain games over again, and it was so like, when was he mic'd up? That was the Falcons game, right?
Yeah.
And I know everybody's like, oh, Jaden's so calm. He's so poised. He's so da-da-da-da. And for me, from my vantage point, I was like, Jaden is mic'd up. And he's smart enough to do what he got to do to win this football game. But not do anything or say anything that's going to be too wild because he knows he's mic'd up. You know what I mean? That's my perspective on it, right?
That's all these players. They
you mic'd up, but you gotta you know, because everybody don't even know what you're saying and what you're doing. But he, you know, many players have said it. Terry McLaurin said it early on. He said when he gets out on the field, he believes he's the best player on the field. He makes us all feel like that. Well, there you have it.
You got it, Paul. You got it. So I'm gonna wrap this. This is my last question. I'm gonna wrap this thing up and kind of bring everything together. Do all of these moves so far? They're not done yet, but right now, have they put the Commanders on the next level?
Yeah,
okay.
Little by little.
Okay. Little by little. Okay.
Little by little. They it's a process. They put the pieces together, and I think everybody should be. Everyone should be happy regardless, but never has this town been a place that players wanted to play and did not want to leave.
Yeah,
and that is now this place.
I agree with this, Paul. I think offense, yes, obviously with Tunsil. I think defense is pending.
It's coming. They ain't gonna trust me. Bobby Wagner on the other side of that. They not about to let that go down easy. Trust me.
Oh man, appreciate you, Dujane. Always appreciate you, homie. Dujane doing great work, man. So make sure you follow the Not Bland show on YouTube too, y'all. Make sure y'all go over there, subscribe to his channel. Dujane is good people. Great show, man. Great show.
And shout out to athletic training staff. I'm gonna see if they can help me out with a few things. Let me stop, but
yeah, Deluxe said left tackle is a huge step. That position possibly upgraded 3 positions. I agree. I think so. I think it makes the offense 10 times better. I think the offense could be so much like getting Tunsil makes the offense that much more dynamic. Agree with you, Paul, though, about like the defense is still pending. I think
Texas let them go.
Yeah, me too. But especially when you got a franchise quarterback too. That's weird. That is weird.
It is. That's why I'm like that. I just want to make sure I say that out loud.
That's weird.
I don't think I've said it out loud. I know we've been on here for a minute, but I haven't said that out loud. But trust me, I'm using my tools and I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
How much was the penalty situation? What was it? But again, a change of scenery can do wonders for players.
Yeah.
But he's still one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah, he's one of the best. Because Trent's still the best to me. Trent's still the best.
Yeah. But if you act, it's
just, I'm with you. No, I'm with you. Believe me, I'm with you.
I mean, they improved a great deal.
Definitely. RNF said they need to stay focused on the trenches. I agree. I do think that, they definitely need to stay focused. I think that should be the main thing. Yeah, main thing, especially in the draft. But that's used to be a thing for the Niners. They used to worry about that. Like if you're looking at Adam Peters and looking at what he's done, and when he was with the Niners, in that organization, getting guys in the trenches was very important. So hopefully they do that. But yeah, in terms of that, I think what Paul says perfectly. That's the perfect way that I would state it, because I believe like offense, I think that they're set. To be real, I think offensively they're set. I mean, they're speed running back away. I do think they need that. Yeah, Morgan Moses got a ton of penalties too. And he did a lot. But I like Morgan Moses. I want him back. Did Morgan get re-signed?
He did.
He
did to the
so he did sign. So Morgan has got signed
to the Patriots, I think.
I wanted Morgan Moses. That's what I wanted, to be the right tackle. I'm not going to lie to you.
Patriots or something. Somebody somewhere cold. It's either Patriots or the Colts. Somewhere with blue and white.
Well, I'm gonna find out now.
But he definitely
Patriots.
Yeah. Okay, I knew because I was tracking him.
Trash Patriots. I hate you.
But now at this point, I'm just like, oh my god. But yeah.
Paul said Patriots. Damn, I wanted Morgan Moses too.
But hey, this offensive line was not exempt from penalties. Now, remember week 2. They
had issues. You still got Wiley. Wiley still got a bunch of penalties anyway.
They had their issues.
Yeah, Wiley gets a bunch of penalties anyway. So I mean, that's not like he's known to get penalties. Let me say not like let me not be all over the top. He's known to get penalties. So yeah. Man, this has been a dope show. Go ahead, Candy. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I think we'll just have to keep your eyes on the rest of the division, what they're doing.
Okay, so what are your clues though?
I feel like the Giants are trying to do something to bolster up their defense, but
they're gonna be bad for a while.
And I was saying that I was like, wait,
they're gonna be bad for a while.
I thought Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They talking about getting Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, the market is dry. They kind of need a quarterback. They need something because they didn't got. They got 2 wide receivers who are ready to crash out at any given time. So they need.
And one of them is one of Jaden Daniels' best friends. So you might want to do something before he come down the street.
Oh, I was talking about I was talking about the Steelers. The Steelers. They got 2
I
Steelers.
thought you were talking about the Giants.
He about to crash out too. He be that one. Malik Neighbors about to crash out too. But these 2 about to crash out. These 2 crash out. Pickens and DK be crashing.
Yeah, I mean they better take him over.
They better find him a quarterback ASAP. They better.
I'm not interested in Aaron Rodgers being in the NFC East at all.
Yeah, he needs to. Yeah. See, how soon? I'm saying they Deluxe. They gonna fight. That is when I say that is the most explosive duo in terms of attitude I've ever seen in the NFL and playing receiver at the same time. This is it because it's not aggression as a football player. It's aggression. Like these dudes be doing the most juvenile stuff in a football game.
Pickens
is so juvenile, and DK. It's like he blackout mad. He can get blackout mad when he do like, and he already does some steroids. He get them steroid anger. That steroid anger where he just starts to like do stupid crap. But Mike Tomlin gonna earn that. Yeah, he gonna earn his money next year. I'm telling you, that man gonna earn his money next year. Definitely is. But anyway, Candi, before we wrap this show up, let our viewers know how they can catch you on social media and also catch your great content for Bowie TV.
Follow me on X at CWall SE. Y'all can go ahead and follow Bowie TV on YouTube, X, Instagram. At this point, you can just Google Bowie TV and it should come up everywhere. But make sure you are subscribed. I think on the Bowie TV YouTube, we just posted some of the content from Combine. So you all make sure you go and listen and watch and use your clues because then it'll make all the sense in the world what is happening right now and then what is happening. So, enjoy the show. This show and the Commander show. Enjoy that show too. And we'll see what happens. And as an honorable mention, pay attention to the moves of the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, because I always tell people that. Make sure you're paying attention to what the division got going on too.
Enemies. I believe in that in life. Always pay attention to your enemies. You know what I'm saying?
You have to.
Sorry. I know it sounds it's kind of good. I know how folks move. Yeah, Deluxe is hilarious. I'm sorry. Remember Celebrity Deathmatch? I do. MTV. I used to watch all the time. In the DK and Pickens and claymation. Oh my God. I need DK and Pickens and claymation. Oh man. Oh God. That would be hilarious. Man. Oh man, appreciate you, Deluxe, man. You my guy, bro.
Thank you. And so you gonna be gone. So enjoy.
Yeah, I'll be gone. I got MEAC tournament, but I'll be back on Sunday. We got stuff to rap about. Hopefully there's a bigger move so we can talk. Well, not Tunsil was pretty big, but a secondary.
Y'all want something else? Debo and Tunsil.
No, I don't want no not like that move. Like a sign-in. Like I want a good sign-in. Like I don't need
exact.
I want me like I ain't gonna lie. I want me like a Justin Simmons type of sign. I want to sign like, all right, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm already under the assumption that they're pretty much done mentally. Like I'm kind of like under that because there's nobody I feel like there's not gonna be an edge rusher that I feel like they can get in free agency right now that's gonna be like whatever. I think all the guys that everybody wanted, they're gone. They got all the ones of some type of talent has been like signed up already. You want an edge rusher tomorrow? I don't know who's gonna be out there. Chase gone.
Chase
names. Yeah, chase the fit. Yeah, sorry. Don't chase names. Chase the fit. That too. This the fit. But I don't think there's players who've had great production that's around. Yeah, I just don't see the players. I don't even see a fit.
Chase is gone. Did you say Chase was gone?
Nah, I did. Chase Young signed. He resigned.
Who? I don't even know.
The Saints. They
he resigned to the Saints. He resigned.
They gave him some money too. He got some good money too.
Good.
He got good money. I don't know. Oh. There's not a fit. Is Landry still out there from Tennessee?
I mean, they do Sometimes
they know what they want.
The thing that you don't expect them to do too.
True.
Right? Like none of last year was really super sexy. It wasn't like a whole bunch of. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Name, right? So it's kind of like, let's just see who the best fit.
Yeah, it's up to They basically was the deluxe.
Yeah. It's don't chase the name, chase the fit. That I mean that's what that's what they on.
Yeah, see, he sounded good. Chase's deal was good. It was a big deal.
I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. That's what's up.
Dan Larry signed with the Patriots. Good God, they all are gone. Jeez, all the details, all the DNs are gone. Jeez Louise. Good God. Oh no, I gotta end the show because now I'm getting frustrated again. I got my phone and phone.
It'll work out. And I mean, hey, again,
they're gonna draft the edge rusher now. I know they are.
Verdi.
I think they're gonna draft the edge rusher. It's the way it's going. Like there's nothing in the market you don't have to force that. There's no need to force a fit. So what Deluxe said, I feel like, and if they get somebody, it's somebody they wanted, or it's somebody who's about to be released, one or the other. But it is what it is. But anyway, man, I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. Before we end this show, I want to make sure you're subscribed to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. If you have not, please don't be lazy. Do it now. Subscribe to the Bowie TV YouTube channel and also the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. So if you're on any of these platforms right now, hit the red subscribe button. I'm waiting for you because I don't like a freeloader. Freeloader just watching and don't subscribe. That's messed up. And subscribing is free. Ain't like you got to pay to subscribe. Hit the red subscribe button. Also like this video. You can also check us out on our Urban Sports Scene website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. You can follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. What was it? Bad teams overpay? True. That's true. I'm gonna get one more and I'll end the show because I was about to end the show and Deluxe you hit me with a good question. So all big deals went to the Patriots, Jags, Browns, Raiders. What does that tell you? Okay, yeah, bad teams. That's true. All bad teams. All bad teams overpay. It is what it is. But still, I want one of those players though. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. Deuces. We are out.
Peace.